Hi there, welcome to Genius Coaching. Today I'll be explaining to you how the mind works. I hope you will use this knowledge to your benefit. First, let's think about anxiety and depression, because these two will teach us so much about the mind. Now, depression is feeling negative about yourself, about life, about your future. And what does that have to teach us? Well, it has to teach us that the mind is almost structured in such a way that we have this inherent need to feel good about ourselves, to feel good about life, and to feel good about our future. And also anxiety. Anxiety is where we have a tendency to feel threatened. Now this is important because, like depression, it shows us that the mind is structured in a certain way to motivate a certain kind of behavior and a certain way of thinking. So, if you have a tendency to feel threatened, the solution is obviously to develop self-confidence, to learn to be stronger, and to become more skilled at dealing with life. So, from these two, we see that the mind is naturally structured in such a way so that we will find ways to feel good about ourselves, to put our minds in harmony with life, so that when we live, we actually feel good about the way life is, and we are fully capable of doing what we need to feel good about life and to put ourselves in harmony with life, and also to plan out a good future for ourselves and to feel enthusiastic about our future life. So the mind is naturally structured to motivate the human to live and think in a certain way. And only by living in that way can a person be truly happy. But let's go a little further here. Let's look at morality. Now, if you do something you know is wrong, you feel guilty. And if you do something you feel is right, you feel pride. Pride feels good, and guilt feels bad. So again, the mind is structured so that you will behave in a certain way, so that you will behave morally. And by doing that, you experience pride and feel good about yourself. So, if we look at all these things together, we see that the ideal state of the human being is one of self-confidence, one of being at harmony with the way life is, meaning you don't dread challenges. You don't have a philosophical problem that puts you in conflict with the nature of life. It requires that you feel good about the future. So, also, of course, morality, I almost forgot that one. So, morally speaking, obviously, your mind is predisposing you to have this need to live the ideal state of moral life, however you understand it to be. So, by taking all these things together, we see that man is almost destined to live a certain way in order to become the ideal state of the human. So, you might say, well, I don't need to be morally ideal, or I don't need to be truly happy. But at the end of the day, we all want to feel good. And living out the ideal moral life as you see it, and feeling good about yourself, feeling confident, feeling positive about your future, this is the most pleasurable way of living that we could possibly imagine. And we all want that. We all want to be in a pleasurable state. And looking at these things, it's very clear that in order to be truly happy, we need to take a look at these laws of the mind and live in accordance with them. Also, I like to remind you that if you need any help, or if you feel anxious, or you feel depressed, or overwhelmed by stress, I'd like for you to head over to my Facebook page, send me a message. We can talk, have a conversation, and if you like, we can set up a session. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope that you have benefited from the information I've given you today. Welcome to Genius Coaching. But what is a genius? It's a person who's really smart, right? True. But there's also an ancient meaning behind the word. It all started in ancient Rome. The Romans believed that everyone was born with a guiding spirit. The purpose of this spirit was to give people their abilities, their talents. So, if you were really smart, it was because you had a genius who endowed you with that ability. Over time, the meaning changed, with abilities like intelligence being thought of as part of your personality. So rather than having a genius, you yourself became a genius. The ancient meaning behind the word genius is the reason why my services are called Genius Coaching. A genius is a guide who empowers you, and it's only right that you should feel empowered. After all, we are all equal as human beings. We all have the same ability to be happy and fulfill our needs. And my purpose is to give you the tools to awaken your abilities. It's so common that we get trapped by negative thinking. We get intimidated. We feel weakened by stress. We become anxious and get depressed. And once you get caught up in that negative thinking, you feel like that's who you are, but it's not who you are. This is why it's so useful to have a coach. Someone who can see you without limitations and guide you into the light of your own inner potential. If you'd like to talk to me, all you need to do is head over to the Genius Coaching Facebook page and say hello. Thank you for watching and enjoy your day.